Sylvester Zottola spent decades building a massive real estate empire. He worked his tail off and racked up a fortune worth millions of dollars over the years. From the outside, the guy honestly had it all. Friends called him a hard-working, respected family man who was completely devoted to his kids. There was absolutely no reason to think anyone wanted him dead. At least, that's what everyone thought. Then, in the fall of 2017, everything flipped upside down. One morning, Sylvester was out for a walk in his Bronx neighborhood, just like any other day. Out of nowhere, a stranger jumped him and attacked him with a knife. The attack was brutal, but Sylvester somehow survived his injuries. Detectives immediately started looking for a motive behind the violence, but nothing made sense. At first, investigators figured it was just a random mugging. There were no real suspects and zero solid leads to go on. So, life slowly went back to normal. But then it happened again. Months later, another hit was attempted on Sylvester's life. Whoever was behind it clearly wasn't done. As time went on, the attacks just kept coming. Every failed attempt looked cleaner, faster, and more organized than the last. It was crystal clear. Someone desperately wanted him out of the picture. That's when investigators changed their strategy. Instead of asking who was pulling the trigger, they started asking, who is bankrolling this? That completely changed the direction of the case. Then came October 4th, 2018. Sylvester pulled into a McDonald's drive-thru in the Bronx early that morning. He had no clue someone was already waiting for him in the shadows. As he sat in his car, another vehicle pulled right up next to him. A gunman stepped out, walked straight up to the driver's side window, and opened fire. The shooter vanished into thin air right after the attack. This time, Sylvester didn't make it. The whole city was left wondering who could have planned something so cold and calculated. Detectives spent weeks reviewing hundreds of hours of surveillance footage. They dug through phone records, financial transactions, and witness statements. Slowly, the pieces started falling into place, and the evidence pointed towards something almost impossible to believe. The mastermind at the center of the investigation wasn't a business rival, and it wasn't a stranger. According to prosecutors, the guy who ordered the hits was Sylvester's own son, Anthony Zottola. They alleged he had secretly planned and paid for multiple murder attempts over several months. The drive-thru shooting was just the first plan that actually worked. Prosecutors argued the motive came down to pure greed, money and total control over the family's multi-million-dollar real estate empire. Anthony wanted his father gone for good so he could take over. As the investigation heated up, several people connected to the plot started talking to the feds. Their stories lined up perfectly with the surveillance footage and the digital trail left behind. The case became airtight. When the trial finally started, prosecutors laid out the whole murder-for-hire scheme step by step. They proved the attacks were never random or emotional. Every single move had been planned out months in advance. The jury didn't doubt it for a second. Anthony Zottola was convicted of murder for hire and a long list of federal charges. The judge sentenced him to life in prison with absolutely no chance of parole. The story sent shockwaves across the country. There is nothing more disturbing than a betrayal from inside your own family, especially when cash becomes thicker than blood. Sylvester spent his entire life building something to leave behind for the people he loved. In the end, that very success was the reason he was targeted. His greatest achievement turned out to be his greatest vulnerability.